Manx Radio Podcasts, powered by Shaw.
Women Today. So, Laura, let's come to you first because you have a certain knowledge of what is going on at the moment in Syria. I noticed something in the news today, for instance, saying that now thousands of people are fleeing the northern town of Afrin because of the Turkish troops. This is it seems endless, this conflict. What is it like for people living in Syria right now?
It totally depends on where you are in Syria. For example, Syria's been in the news quite a lot over the last few weeks, partly because of what's going on in Afrin, but also because of what's happening in eastern Ghouta, which is a suburb of Damascus, which has been under siege by the government, and life there has just been absolutely impossible for the people living there. And so many people, thousands of civilians have been killed. But the difficulty is that it's very hard to get aid into the country because of the fighting and because of all of the different parties that are involved, because the fighting has become so politicised as well and influenced by politics outside of the country as well, that it's become incredibly difficult to help the people inside who are affected.
What are some of the biggest challenges day to day?
Finding food for your family and not being in the way of an airstrike by the government or Turkish forces in the north of Syria. It's just a really impossible situation.
And now you have organised an event with, am I right in thinking it's part of the Hands Up Foundation, this event?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the foundation itself first then.
The Hands Up Foundation works with or supports various different smaller charities within Syria, mostly local Syrian charities that are working with victims of the conflict. So the charities they work with, I think, sort of change over time. It's one of the best organisations that I've seen for actually getting aid into Syria, because it's working with Syrian organisations.
So there is going to be a Syrian supper club, and it is being held at the Bath and Bottle, and we're also joined by Charlotte, who's come in to tell us about it. So first of all, Charlotte, just let us know what is actually going to be happening at this event itself.
Okay, so the Syrian Supper Club, in collaboration with Pink Gin, is happening at Bath and Bottle on the evening of Thursday, the 26th of April. Tickets are $49.50, and you'll be able to buy those via Bath and Bottle and Pink Gin's Facebooks by following the Eventbrite link. It's going to be a long table feast to encourage interaction in a respectful and authentic way. You'll get to experience some really beautiful foods from all over the Gulf and other Arabic countries. There'll be a welcome drink, there'll be some great cocktails on offer, there'll be some great wine on offer, and it's going to be a really, really good evening, and it's all proceeds for a really amazing cause. So we've managed to keep the costs of feeding our guests down by using local produce. We've been borrowing, stealing from everybody that we know so that we can pull this event together and send as large a donation as possible straight to the Hands Up Foundation.
So what sort of food can we expect from the sort of Gulf regions that you're talking about? Any idea what's going to be on the menu? Lots
of sharing elements. There'll be some favourites from previous menus at all of the Rock Food Concept establishments in the past. So at the latter half of 2016, we did take place in the hashtag Cook for Syria campaign. So 14 North introduced a starter onto their menu that was Syrian inspired. Likewise, Little Fish Cafe had a main course option, and Bath and Bottle had a really successful cocktail on their menu that featured. And a sizable donation from all the proceeds of those dishes and cocktails that we sold was donated to the Cook for Syria campaign.
That is brilliant. And what is it about this particular campaign that makes you guys really want to support it?
I think it's such a pressing situation. We're just really big believers that when you have the privilege and the position to make a difference, and you should try. So
I think people tend to think about Syria as it is a very heavily politicised conflict, and so people find it really difficult to know how they can help. It's not straightforward. Nothing about the Syrian situation is black and white. People feel for the civilians and the people in Syria who are being affected by the conflict, but nobody really knows what they can do about it. So this is something that people can do to help and know that their money is going straight to the people who most need it.
I take it the night itself, is there going to be some sort of information available about what is going on there? Will there be any sort of talk or anything? What will be happening with respect to that?
I think Laura's going to step up and do a little chat about
I'll
pink
speak
gin.
a little bit about what's going on. But I mean, we don't want to make it a really kind of sad and negative event. We want people to have fun and know that by enjoying themselves, by coming and having fun, they're also helping somebody else in Syria. So
Laura's a walking promotion of just how beautiful Arabic cultures are. And so I think, this evening is really going to be a celebration of that.
I mean, even with the Syrian conflict, for example, and the refugee crisis, this isn't just being contained within Syria. This is spreading to elsewhere in the world. This is affecting Western Europe in a way that it never would have done 100 years ago, even because of the way that communications and transportation have developed. People are actually physically able to move and to see where they can have a better life. And so it's no longer about this is what's happening here and that's what's happening there. There's so much crossover, and I think everything that's happening in Syria is affecting so many other parts of the world now. I don't think we can really ignore it. I think one of the saddest things as well is that there's a whole generation now in Syria that's growing up going through the conflict, or even growing up in refugee camps or in other countries, who are not going to be able to contribute to rebuilding the country because they've lost out on their education or access to services and health. And so even if a political settlement is ever reached, it'll be very, very difficult to build the country back up to a functioning state that provides for its citizens.
Gosh, so sad. And the images that come out of there on a daily basis, much as it's not covered as much as it should be perhaps, but the images are just shocking, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're being positive. Charlotte, we've got the Syrian Supper Club. Tell us when, where it is, how much it is, and how people can join in.
Okay, so the Syrian Supper Club, in collaboration with Pink Gin, is happening at Bath and Bottle on the evening of Thursday, the 26th of April. I think things are kicking off from about 7:30. Tickets are $49.50. So that will include a beautiful homemade long table feast. You will have a drink on arrival. There will be some great decorations, some wonderful talks from some really inspiring people. Half of the proceeds of each ticket sold will go directly towards the Hands Up Foundation via the Syrian Supper Club. There'll be opportunity to buy raffle tickets for some really amazing prizes that be donated from all sorts of local businesses and entrepreneurs. It's going to be a really good evening. Tickets will go on sale via Bath and Bottles and Pink Gin's Facebooks, and we'll be selling the tickets via Eventbrite. So just follow the links. It couldn't be more simple.
And this money, as you said before, it will get to the right places, won't it, Laura?
Yeah, I think events like this is so empowering over here, because I think people tend to think on the island, what can we possibly do to help? We're just a tiny island and we're so far removed from what's going on, whereas seeing things like this happening where people actually can get involved and feel like they're doing something to contribute is a really amazing thing.
Excellent. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.
Women Today. Don't sit in the slow lane. Join the fast lane right now with Shaw's all-new Superfast Plus broadband. Enjoy more bandwidth, amazing speeds and the best value on the island from just £23.95 per month. So don't be left behind. Get a piece of the high-speed action with Superfast Plus broadband from Shaw. For details, visit our stores in Douglas, Ramsey and Port Erin or click shaw.com. Love being Shaw. Terms and conditions apply.